Welcome to your daily dose of Airdrop Alpha. There's a few airdrops that are claimable right now and a bunch of stuff to do to make sure that we qualify for other airdrops in 2024. But before I get into all that, I wanted to talk about the whole airdrop meta right now because I've seen a lot of people saying that it is over. And my personal take on the airdrop meta right now is that no, it's definitely not over and there's still a lot of opportunities to be had. The reality is that there's so many different projects right now that have airdrop campaigns on or that are going to drop a token that it's literally impossible. Every single airdrop opportunity is going to knock it out of the park. And while yes, there are certainly going to be some disappointments, there's also still going to be some opportunities that cook. Maybe it's 1 out of 10, maybe it's 1 out of 20 airdrops where you click a few buttons and you get a massive 10x, 100x return on your money and capital. But those opportunities definitely still exist. They're out there. And if we stop clicking buttons now because we get discouraged about a few disappointments, then we're going to miss those big paydays. And yes, while I agreed that the announcements of Eigenlayer yesterday having the token be illiquid for potentially months is not ideal, also the issues with the geo-blocking and the VPNs, obviously not great. I think that the Eigenlayer project itself is going to be massive and that the token is still going to be valuable. And so personally, I'm still ready to see how the Eigenlayer airdrop plays out because no, I don't think that it's so over for the Eigen token itself. And then when we expand this to some other projects that have launched recently with somewhat disappointing results, like potentially KMNO Finance, Parcel hasn't done very well. Also, the Renzo token today hasn't had as good of a launch as, for example, EtherFi did. But let's be honest, there's new projects dropping tokens weekly at this point, sometimes multiple in a single day like we have today. And quite frankly, it's not possible for the market to absorb all of these new tokens, new injections of liquidity just with a snap of a fingers. And it's going to take some time for some of these projects, I think, to actually evolve into their final form and for the market to understand what they should be worth. And then my final point on this is that it's only going to take one airdrop to change the meta from it's so over to we're so back. I don't know if that's going to be ZK Sync or if it's going to be Layer 0 or potentially another airdrop that I'm not even thinking of right now, but those opportunities still exist. So my take is I'm going to continue clicking buttons because I still think that farming airdrops is one of the best risk reward opportunities within the crypto space. And I would still rather be farming airdrops with my capital than just farming basic yield with my capital, because with airdrops, you have a power law distribution of the payday where obviously you're gonna have some disappointments like KMNO, but sometimes you're gonna hit a massive 10x or 100x on your time, energy, and money. Like for example, with Wormhole, click a few buttons and get a few $1,000s. Those opportunities might not be happening every single week, but they are still out there. And Wormhole wasn't even that long ago that it came through. Anyways, that's my take on the airdrop meta overall. So let's move into the first token you can claim today, which is the REZ token from Renzo. This is live and tradable on Binance and a bunch of other centralized exchanges. The claim page is through the Liquify application. Claim is on ETH mainnet, but that's fine because ETH gas fees right now are actually relatively reasonable. And then if we look at the token price since launch, if you manage to claim it in the first couple of minutes, you could have sold it for about 25 cents a token, and it's since been hovering around 17 cents. Now, most airdrops don't reach their all-time high on day one. The market cap of Renzo right now is under 200 million with a fully diluted valuation of 1.7 billion. And if we compare that to EtherFi, they've got a market cap of almost 450 million with an FDV of almost 4 billion. So I feel like maybe there's a bit of a disconnect. I don't know if EtherFi is overpriced or Renzo is underpriced, but the relative TVL of these two protocols is a lot closer than the actual market cap comparison. Obviously, some of that has to do with the fact that EZ from Renzo depegged last week and there was that whole issue. But I feel like there's going to be a repricing of this. I haven't actually claimed my tokens yet, and I plan on doing that sometime later today. And then speaking of Renzo, which is an LRT, there's a quick clarification on the Eigen token, which I discussed in yesterday's video. So if most or all of your points for Eigenlayer are coming from using Pendle, you are still getting your airdrop. There's no nerfing of those points. There's no cutting of those points. It's just taking them a little bit longer to sort through exactly which wallets get which allocation. So all of those points are accounted for up until March 15th, and there's going to be a phase 2 of season 1 of the airdrop, and then there's going to be multiple seasons of the airdrop as well. And season 2 started, I guess, on March 16th. So if you had Pendle points accumulating since then, those are going to count for the airdrop as well. So I just wanted to leave this here because I think yesterday there was a little bit of confusion around that. And then in terms of the Eigen token itself, it's looking like it's going to be locked up, illiquid and non-transferable for months. And so they're really leaning into the Eigen token actually being just a governance token as opposed to any sort of store of value. We'll see what happens with that. Obviously, the token is already trading in pre-market on perp dexes like AVO, and currently it looks like it's trading for around $10 per Eigen token. Now, these pre-market trading predictions aren't usually exactly accurate because there's not a huge amount of liquidity, and we're only going to get a real sense for what this is going to be worth when it actually goes live and is liquid and tradable. But just in terms of a rough estimate, that is the price per Eigen that is going right now. Anyways, of course, with the Eigen token not being transferable for months after launch, a lot of people have started withdrawing from the EigenLayer restaking. And you can see in this Dune dashboard here that there was a massive spike in withdrawals in the queue yesterday. And then I did see this funny meme on Twitter, which honestly is pretty accurate. Like, why would ZK Sync or Layer Zero want to drop a token now after they saw what happened to EigenLayer? But don't worry, I think they will still drop a token, and I have faith that they will get it right. Realistically, what we want is a tier-based airdrop, not a linear airdrop, with reasonable qualifiers and criteria for each tier that scales up from a reasonable entry level or base level up to a pretty hefty payday. I feel like that is really what we want as airdrop farmers, and I still do have hope that ZK Sync and or Layer Zero, at least one of them, will hit that. Anyways, moving on now, the other airdrop that you can claim today is the KMNO token from KMNO Finance. Now, if you thought that Renzo or EigenLayer was a letdown, this is gonna take the cake. So you can go to the KMNO page right now and claim your allocation. Each KMNO token is currently trading at less than 4 cents. The market cap is less than 40 million and the FTV is less than 400 million. Now, honestly, I feel like this is a little bit mispriced. It's kind of unfortunate that both of these tokens, Renzo and KMNO, launched on the day that the market started dumping overall. The total market cap of the cryptocurrency sector is down almost 5% on the day, so not a great day to be launching your token. However, for the largest DeFi application on Solana, KMNO comes in technically at number 3, but the first two are just liquid staked SOL tokens. So KMNO is actually the largest by TVL on the Solana blockchain. And for them to have a market cap of less than $40 million honestly does seem a little bit insane to me. So I claim my allocation. I'm not selling at these prices because honestly, selling for peanuts just doesn't make sense. I'm just gonna hold mine for now. If you want to do something with your token, if you plan on holding it, you can provide liquidity on KMNO, and you can also actually stake the token. So if you go into the app, you'll see that there's an option now to stake KMNO. And if you do stake it, you earn points boosts for season 2 of the airdrop. Now, I'm not really actively farming season 2 of the airdrop, but I'll probably stake these tokens in the short term anyways, just because I don't want to sell at this ridiculously low price. And then if we're ranking airdrop disappointments for the past 2 days, I would say Renzo actually not that bad, just launched at kind of a lower valuation than expected. EigenLayer, I would say with the no transferable, no liquidity, not great. And then KMNO coming in at less than 4 cents a token, really at the bottom of the barrel. Anyways, let's move now to new opportunities that you could still farm and potentially get a decent airdrop in 2024. So let's talk now about Sanctum, since we're on the subject of Solana airdrops, and I kind of updated my strategy for this. So what I am doing is focusing on the INF liquid stake token from Sanctum, the Infinity token itself, but also collecting all of the pets. When you collect 18 out of 18, you get this little gold badge that kind of glows. I have this hint or a speculation, not actually a hint from anyone in the know, but I'm kind of speculating that if you have all of the pets, maybe there will be some sort of bonus or multiplier for doing that. So what I've done is gone pretty heavy into the INF token, and it says I have none in my wallet. That is because I am providing liquidity on Meteora. This is the only liquid stake token for Sanctum that you can actually earn points by using it in DeFi. For the rest of them, you have to just hold the tokens in your wallet. So I've gone heavy into the INF token, and then I have some HSOL and some JupeSOL. But aside from that, I've gone for the minimum allocation, at least, for every single one of these. That way, my pets for each one of these is ranking up. I know this sounds kind of dumb, This is literally like Pokemon. So I have 18 liquid stake tokens in my wallet, technically 17 because the INF token, I'm providing liquidity on Meteora. And that way I have this 18 out of 18 badge. All of my pets are ranking up, my points are going up, and so that's my strategy. If you have liquid stake Solana tokens, I would say it makes sense to at least sign up and join this because you're wasting points or you're not earning points if you don't. And if you want to use my invite code or referral code, that would help me out a lot. All right, next up, let's move to my actual favorite airdrop opportunity right now, and that is the Puff token. So they just launched their Goldilocks bag game. Now this is getting a little bit complex, so let me break it down for those of you that are participating. If you have been staking Puff tokens or Mantle ETH, you get these blue magic tokens. And now there's a game to play with these blue magic tokens. So basically you have to vote with your tokens, and if you select the correct option out of 3 choices, then you can earn a decent Puff airdrop from this. So basically the way this game works is there's 3 bags, and what you want to do is vote with your blue magic tokens for the bag that is going to have the middle amount of BMT at the end of this game. So there's a countdown up here. It's going for another 2 days and 20 hours. However, there's a potency that decreases linearly. So the earlier you get in and vote with your BMT tokens, the greater the voting power that you have. Currently, it's below 95%, but if you wait another day, it will go down quite a bit. It decreases, like I said, linearly until the end of the game. So what you need to do is vote for one of these 3 bags. Now, you can split it up, you can go all in on one. Now, in terms of what I have done here, I put 500,000 BMT into the Shaka bag, which currently is in the middle. This one started at 2 billion. The Puff bag started at 1 billion and the Sifu bag started at 4 billion. And so I've put 500,000 into the Shaka bag because it started as the middle bag with a buffer on either side, meaning that already from the get-go, it is more likely to end up as the middle amount, the middle balance. Then I put a smaller amount, 224,000 BMT, into the Sifu bag. And the reason for that is because in the Puff Discord, a lot of people have been discussing going 50 and 50 into both of these 2 bags, Shaka and Sifu. So already there's a skew to these 2 on the right, but my thinking around putting the majority of my tokens into the Shaka bag is that if it ends up going 50-50 Shaka and Sifu, since Shaka started in the middle with a buffer of 2 billion tokens to the Sifu bag, it's much more likely to end up in the middle. Now, I'm kind of gambling with this because honestly, I have no idea how this is going to shake out. And at the end, some whale could come in and put all of their billions of tokens into the Puff bag and push that one up into the middle. So we'll see what happens. It's a fun game. There's no way to lose. At the end of this, you get all your tokens back. You get the Puff and the METH that you stake back anyways. So it's kind of just an extra way to earn rewards. This is the most interactive and fun meme coin I have ever seen, without a doubt. Anyways, let's move on to the next update, which is that the mode airdrop has been delayed by at least 5 days. They say airdrop 1 is extended until May 5th. So I'm not super surprised that they've delayed it, and it's not the end of the world either. I would rather they launch properly and honestly with slightly better market conditions maybe than doing a rush launch on a day when all the markets are red and everyone is fudding airdrops in general. Speaking of mode, the Ionic protocol is launching their token, so they released some detail on that. Now, the token genesis event for this is going to be on May 2nd, and there's going to be a very small circulating supply at first. So the first round of the airdrop is going to be 3%. But only 0.5% is going to be liquid immediately, and the remaining 2.5 is going to be vested over 6 months. At least they have more liquid airdrop tokens than Eigenlayer though. Anyways, that's the initial airdrop, and then there's going to be other rounds as well starting in May. In other news, MarginFi's co-founder is publicly musing about launching a MarginFi token, talking about the best way to do it. So they've been kind of twiddling their thumbs on this and discussing it for a while now. This kind of post doesn't give me any hope that it's happening soon because honestly, they don't seem to have a good idea of what they actually want to do with their token. Next up, it looks like Stargate V2 is launching this week. There's one final round of audits being completed this week, and after that, it's actually going to launch. Also, by the way, today is April 30th, so this is a final reminder to push a couple of transactions through today. It's your last chance to get qualifying airdrop transactions for April, and then tomorrow is the first day of May, where we can get airdrop qualifying transactions in another distinct month. Next up, if you qualified for the Merkley ZK airdrop from Polyhedra, you should check your wallet to see if you got any additional tokens. And that is because a lot of people actually didn't claim their ZK tokens from Merkley. Almost 36% of the tokens went unclaimed, and they have redistributed those to people. It's been dropped directly into your wallet. You don't have to claim it. And for a lot of people, the Merkley ZK allocation was actually better than the allocation that we got directly from Polyhedra itself. Next up, it looks like the Particle Network is hinting the launch of their token, the Party token. They posted this little teaser video today, so we'll see what happens with this. I've spoken about this platform a few times on the channel, and if you've ever interacted with it, there's a chance that you might get an airdrop from this. Next up, Tabby Chain has confirmed that they are launching a token. The ticker symbol is going to be GG, and there's still time to earn feathers, which is their version of points, and to exchange them for tokens. And then finally, before signing off, I wanted to bring you a couple of new Galaxy quests that are live that maybe if you haven't seen would be worth completing. So there's this one on right now from OKX where you can potentially earn a share of 40,000 mode token rewards for completing a few quests here. However, in order to participate, you will need to bridge at least 0.1 ETH to the mode network. And then there's a couple of other ones here as well, one with Ironclad Finance and one with Kim Exchange, and then one with LogX. Each one of these is coming with an allocation of mode tokens. Next up, Orderly Network has 2 additional quests on Galaxy, this one with LogX Pro and this one with Ondo. They've said previously that Galaxy quests will be an input into the Orderly Network airdrop campaign, so doing these 2 is probably a good idea if you're trying to farm the Orderly airdrop. Then on top of that, there's a new Galaxy quest from Mantra Chain. I've brought a couple of these before, so if you've been following along, they just tacked on another new one that you can get pretty easily. And lastly, if you have been farming the Cellular airdrop with the Cellular Alliance program, you can go and claim oats, and people that claim the level 3 oat have a chance to get the biggest share of the Cell airdrop. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you found this useful as always. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.